Hey, it's Weekend Gabe here on your Tuesday night on Weekend at Gabe's. If you're wondering why I look like I just woke up, it's because today has been a hell of a day, and that's what's going down. But I'm glad everyone here is joining us here on this Tuesday night, this wintry Tuesday night in Chicago. We got a lot to get into tonight. We're going to have the return of Damon Sproul and Ken Davis, also known as D and Davis Show. They're going to reunite here in a few minutes to talk about the 1 year anniversary of one Kobe being Bryant. So we're going to get into that. The music you hear playing is from Pharoah Monch, who has a phenomenal new record that I reviewed yesterday on Vocalo 91.1 FM here in Chicago with 13 with band members from the Jack White Band. So go check it out. It's called A Magnificent Day for an Exorcism. There you go. I think we're going to talk a little bit maybe on Saturday about Pharoah Monch's trajectory as a solo artist. I think we're going to have to backtrack to his raucous releases. I think we're going to have to really do that. So today, in news that only Gabe cares about, I'm going to pop this down. In news that only Gabe cares about, in case you were wondering, it has been a really crazy day. Where's my phone at, by the way? There's my phone. Obviously, the weather has been crazy today, but also once again, CTU and CPS here in Chicago are talking about doing a strike, and that's not good for the kids and doing it remote. But if you ever tried to teach a kindergartner on the internet, that is a terrible, terrible idea. But the teachers here in Chicago just want a safe place to do their work, and there's some debate whether or not that's happening or not. So we'll keep an eye on that. The Godzilla versus Kong trailer dropped this past weekend, and it is phenomenal. I cannot wait to see it on HBO Max later this year. So shout out to HBO Max for getting Kong versus Godzilla going. There's already some debate whether or not Kong is really the underdog in this match. I suppose we'll see what happens in later this year. But I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna say that it's gonna be very entertaining. I'm not gonna do the who's gonna win. Remember when we did that with Freddy versus Jason, and then we're all disappointed at the end of just how awful the film was in general. So we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole. But what we will climb out of is this dark period that is Chicago Bulls basketball, where the Bulls are actually winning games. And that's a good thing for Chicago and everyone around. And so joining us now to talk a little sports and also the 1 year anniversary of Kobe Bryant's death is the return of D and Davis, Damon Sproul, and Ken Davis. Good evening, fellas. How are you?
What's going on?
What's going on, Gabe?
Good. It's only been, how long is it last time we seen each other? I don't know how many months it's been.
Ooh, you was at my crib, right? Recording that flip.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, right before the end of the world. Yeah. The episode that was that didn't record. I spent like 2 hours of my Sunday with you guys, but it's cool.
Hey, man, you had fun with us. I think you had fun with me and Ken. Oh man,
I did. Ryan was there. Sid was there. I mean, it was a full house. It was a great day.
Yeah,
But I mean, you obviously you want the content. When you commit that much time, you want the content. So I was a little bit bummed that we didn't get it in, but it's whatever.
But look at what took place. We got to hang out right before the world was shut down.
That's very true. You were one of the last few people I saw in real time. So yeah, you're right. So I guess that is a upside, I suppose. But it looks like you guys are doing great. I'm glad to see you guys are all doing well and your families are doing well. So I'm really happy to see that we made it and we crossed the 2021 finish line, begin line, whatever you want to refer to it as. But we're on the other side of the coin, so that's good news. Ken, you are continuing on with the Davis Show with Ryan. Where you guys are talking still.
Wait, that Davis Show. You said the Davis Show with the Ryan.
Isn't it that Davis
the
Show?
Davis Show with the Ryan. Yeah, that Davis Show. It actually was going to be the Davis Show, but it was taken on social media. So
that's okay.
That wasn't taken because D actually. No, I thought about that, and I didn't tell anybody. But D actually was one of the first people to actually mention it. But that wasn't what I was going for. It ended up being what ended up sticking. But yeah, we're still doing the show. We're actually gonna record after I get off of here. Ryan and I. He moved to Tempe, Arizona, but we're still going hard.
Oh, did he really? Wow.
Yeah, he's been in Tempe since the end of December.
Oh wow. Well, good for him. You know,
yeah, definitely.
He's definitely enjoying better weather than we are today. So
yes, he is. A little bit more Rona in the streets as far as they don't mask it up down there.
Huge fact. A lot of non-believers down there in those parts. But voting non-believers, so we can't hate them. Hey,
it went blue, didn't it?
It sure as hell did.
Take that Rona for that blue.
Voting non-believers, I like that one.
And D. Demonza, you're always on the social medias showing us just how well you work out and how hard you work out, and putting us all to shame. I have gone the opposite direction of you, but I am in my mind. I work out every day, so I suppose I'm on even median peel.
It all starts up here, man. Gabe, it all starts up here. You just gotta, just let it out, let it loose, baby. Come on.
I know. Listen, I already got the VR remote headset, the Oculus, where you could box, and it is amazing. This is the third show I've told someone about this. It is an amazing experience. If you have about $500 expendable dollars, I highly encourage you to purchase this device. However, but
how much are the games?
Huh?
How much are the games on there? I thought it was $300 for it.
It depends on which series you get. So I got the Oculus. It was Oculus, whatever. It's like the most recent one. Okay. So there's different series. So I guess this has been out for a while, but then Facebook bought the property to it. So now for you to log in, you have to create Facebook.
Does that bother you? You got to use your Facebook account. So basically, you're giving them more stuff that they can sit there and know about you. Like now, they know how you react in this situation. They know what you look up. I know they know the stuff anyway. But I was just like, why not get the one for the PlayStation?
I don't have a PlayStation, so we have a Switch, which does not have a VR experience.
That's not powerful enough.
No, it's not. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm doing my boxing thing. So I'm doing a little bit of cardio. So I'm working up to it. I'm working up to it. But I'm glad you're doing well, though. So it looks like everything's going all right. So I know we only have like a limited window, and I don't want to waste any time. But today marks the 1-year anniversary of Kobe Bryant's passing. As with you and me and everyone across the world, this was a huge shock when it happened. When the helicopter that he was riding in with 8 other people passed, and crashed, and it was just I was standing in line at the grocery store, and a friend of mine texted me. He's like, "Hey, word's coming out that this had happened," and I'm like, that's crazy. Like Kobe Bryant just seemed like one of those people that we have in life that would never ever leave us, or never not be part of something that we can always check in or see him either on the sidelines or doing media. Like he was like kind of like drifting in that LeBron post basketball of just being kind of like having his hand in a little bit of everything, and to not have him with us it's still a bit of a shock. A year later, what are your guys' thoughts? I'll start with Ken.
The thing, I was watching today The Jump, right? They did a 2-hour special on The Jump today, and I was fine actually for the most part. I had a couple friends who actually were a couple. Both of their birthdays were today, and a partner of me and Dee's, he had a kidney transplant just recently, like a week or two ago. This his birthday. Yeah, so it was good. It was it was a good day. But watching that, the thing still, and you mentioned that about Kobe. Kobe was so great that it seems like he should be around forever, but to a certain point, he was so great. It's like, I don't want to say he burnt out, but he accomplished basically everything at the highest level.
Right.
What hurt me the most was Gianna, and let alone, unfortunately, we never really talk about those other 7 people enough. But his daughter Gigi, and being a father and having a daughter, it struck me a certain kind of way. You know what I'm saying? And just seeing those pictures, because I'll tell you this, there was a time where I didn't know, like when they first used to show those pictures of Gigi and Kobe at their home gym, and she's shooting and she's leaning into and pushing off and stuff. I thought that was the oldest one 2 or 3 years ago, because I didn't know that Gigi had stretched out that long, right? When I first started seeing it, I thought like, the oldest girl was playing basketball. Not at the point where all of us being younger, he had 2 kids. He ended up having 4, but the last 2 are pretty young or whatever. But Gigi was the baby for at least 9 years, basically. So to know that they like, oh, that's this girl and she's so young and has all this potential, that hurts. That hurt me a lot. To say the least. So that's what sticks out to me, that bright light. Now all those kids that was on there. Let me just not talk about Gigi, but her teammates. Those bright lights were snuffed out, and then the fact that it began such a tragic year for my younger brother died. D lost his grandmother and his uncle towards the end of last year.
My cousin,
shit got out of hand, to say the least. You know what I'm saying, this past year. So that's what sticks out to me.
Yeah. What about you, D? Do you kind of have a lot of similar feelings because you yourself also have a daughter?
Yeah, man, that was the biggest thing that always touched me when it happened. I remember I was like laying on the couch just chilling, and my grandmother actually called me. She's like, "You hear about Kobe Bryant?" I'm like, "What's going on?" She's like, "I think he died. Yeah, I think I saw a plane crash or something like that." And it literally, I set up because I was like dozing in and out, probably watching some basketball, if anything, since the middle of December or end of December. And
it was January. Yeah. It was January.
January. I'm sorry. January. And I kind of stood up, his hands were shaking. I'm like texting the guys, texting Ken, "Hey, have you heard anything?" I'm going on Twitter. I'm looking, I'm searching this. I'm like shaking, you know what I'm saying? Because it almost hits you kind of like it was a family member, because you could see, like, Kobe Bryant is like of our age, maybe a little bit older than me, but we all kind of the same generation. And he was our guy, one of the many guys that was big, but man, he was the dude. Right. And to see that happen, man, it's crazy. And then, as Ken said, man, to see that his daughter was on on a helicopter with him, it just makes you want to go upstairs. I mean, it's different. I think Ken and I can speak to this, and any guys out there with a daughter, man, it's a different kind of bond. You know what I'm saying? It's just different. And this would make me want to just go up and just hug my daughter even more. And for today, man, it was, I knew today was an anniversary, but at the same time, it was kind of like, I don't know if I can go through that again. You know what I'm saying? Because of the year we just had in 2020, my grandmother, my cousin passed away from COVID. Beyond all the other people who have passed away, Ken's younger brother, it was just tough. And I think, I don't know, I'm speaking selfishly here, but thinking about that, it's like, I don't know if I even want to go through it. So I saw it on social media, but I didn't. It was like a real, I hate to say it, but kind of like a kind of a quicker slide by on the IG on Twitter, because I know it was so hurtful, and it's bringing back those old memories. But it was definitely a tough one. Yeah.
Real quick, I remember this. I think D sent out the initial text as he was saying. Mm-hmm. And what confirmed it was when he said that he went down in the helicopter, and I was like, oh shit, Kobe was still using that helicopter that we all knew he used to use to get to the Lakers games. And that's what, because I remember like sometime last year I looked up, does Kobe still use the helicopter? I just wanted to see. And I remember saying, Kobe still uses the helicopter. So that definitely stood out to me. And then I don't know, Gabe, if you know Chris Pennant. He writes for Riga Radio. Do you know?
Yeah. Shout out to Chris. Yeah. We played softball actually just last summer. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
One of the days that it was everyone was comfortable, and then we stopped.
out there full of that Rona, huh? But he had I didn't see it till today. Oh, I don't know if he posted it today or last night. But on Facebook, if you're a friend of Chris Pennant's, go to his page, and he has about I don't know if it's about a minute and a half or 3 minutes where he's talking about mortality and how Kobe, how it makes him think about it. And one thing I said is, because he was asking how often do you think about it, and I said, unfortunately, I think about mortality a lot, but I've had to bury a lot of people in my life, so death has kind of been in my face since I was like 5. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. And that's what's another point that I just want to make stood out to me is that, and going with D saying he kind of avoided it. It kind of just brings in mortality. And I think about my kids and where they're going to be at and how things going to be when, unfortunately, one day I'm not here anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. And for LA, and I was thinking about this, like the year prior, we had just lost Nipsey Hussle, and it was just like, just for LA in general, like just had losing. But I mean, just like it was. I mean, it wasn't back to back, but it was like in the 6-7 month span. It's like Jesus Christ. It's like it's just brutal. I was watching someone was playing like an old commercial of Kobe where he had like he was like in an orchestra and he had like the crowd like singing about hating him, and to be and for Chicago fans there was just this inherited hate for Kobe because we had identified him as being the next up or the person who most resembled Mike. And so there was kind of like this noticeable thing that we just disliked so much about him because we also saw him creeping up to Jordan's greatness. So of course, as being biased fans, we didn't want to see that. So there's just naturalness about him. But my feelings about him, the same way LeBron, they evolved where like I think we just need to just appreciate his greatness regardless of what uniform he suits up in. But we'll talk a little bit about that, Ken. It's just like how he was able to transcend like people's opinions about him to still earn a space in our hearts and the care that he received.
At about year 3 of Kobe. So we got to remember Dale Harris kept him on the bench too damn long in the first place with the Lakers before Phil got there. I think a year 3 or 4, I said to myself, I remember being at home and I said, man, I'm going to enjoy this because this is the closest I'm going to see him Mike. And I because you're accurate, Gabe, that we do have that. I remember in years talking to people and they're like, I can't stand Kobe. I'm like, dude, just enjoy what's taking place. I get that you don't want anybody to overcome Mike, and he didn't, but he got damn close. He got 5 of them now.
Yeah.
All right, he got damn close. But still, I was like, I'm going to enjoy this because, and this is another thing. I was thinking about this today too. The thing that also makes Kobe so appealing to us is the fact that it wasn't just that Kobe physically had the talent to make him similar to Michael Jordan. It was that dogmatic drive that made you like, it was like, because it'd be different. Like if he could play like Mike, but he was like, half-assing at times, then it'd be like, see, man, he a real jerk. But when you saw that he wanted to put his foot on his opponent's neck like Mike, it just, and then you grew up here, it made you like, yeah, I do like that though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
I mean, there was still some parts where it's like, he's not better than Mike, right? But still, I said early on to myself, I'm going to enjoy Kobe Bryant's career because you saw, think about Vince Carter being the first person that was really his opponent, right? And because at this point, we didn't know Tracy McGrady was going to be Tracy McGrady. Then Tracy goes to Orlando. And then that first year in Orlando, Tracy was a better shooter than Kobe, purely. You know what I'm saying? Until Kobe kept working on his jump. And Kobe just kept getting better than the players who were his contemporaries until he had just outpaced them clearly. So, yeah, I was in early and I wasn't going to hate on him as much, but I still had a little bit of hate because –
right. But what about you, D? Like,
yeah, same thing. I remember I was in college and I was like, who was this young dude? Like, man, you think you MJ? But eventually, as Ken said, man, greatness, I don't care who you are. Greatness is going to wear you down and it's going to make you say, like, damn, they great. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be like, I'm great. Acknowledge me. And it's the same thing. That's what happened with Kobe. And then to come out and see that MJ gave him a stamp of approval, like, yeah, man, that's my little bro. Mm-hmm. It was like, okay, all right. Saying Chicago was like, okay, cool. All right. You all right. You all right.
Yeah.
But no, man, it was just it was a mentality with him. You know what I'm saying? You had the physical attributes, as Ken said, but it was just that mentality and the Mamba mentality, and it went up to another level. And then he had a long hiatus when it came to championships, and he was going through the valleys. But it's always good to see somebody you don't like, kind of fall down and then come back up. It's like, I'm gonna watch this. This is interesting. Right. And he was able to bring himself back up, and boom, 2 more championships. You know what I'm saying? So it was good to see. It was good to see. And he was, like I said, he was in our lives for a very long time. For me, in high school, when he took Brady to prom. You know what I'm saying? It was like, man, he was in our lives at about the same time, and to kind of kick it back to him, like, man, we the same age, and he went out like that. It was kind of like, whoa, this is a shock. But no, man, like it was that Mamba mentality, and then to see what he did afterwards. You know what I'm saying? All through his controversies and people not liking a lot of things he did on and off the court or whatever it may be, but he was able to get through it. And he was on the other side, and he was doing so much, and it was like, oh man, this dude is inspiring me. And it was crazy. He's still inspiring people right now. I'm sure he is.
Absolutely. Ken, I want to respect your time. What is the last what is the do you have like a favorite Kobe on the court moment that just stands out to you, excluding the 81? You can't use 81.
Excluding 81, what would be probably maybe the first. It's one where I know. And I saw today where it's a lot, to be honest with you. I mean, It's a lot. It's one where he goes left and right through two players, and then he yaks. I can't remember who he yacked on or whatever, but that one definitely sticks out to me. And probably a clutch shot of his. No, the one where he pulls his shirt back and he does that one. That one probably sticks out the most. Because I won't say the 81, because the 81, I believe, happened on a Super Bowl night. Like it was where we were watching something else. If it wasn't the Super Bowl, it was Championship Sunday when he was in Toronto that night. I remember it was like, I want to see the date on that because I think that anniversary may have just passed, or it may be coming up. I should say.
It was not too long ago. Yeah, it was it was like a few days ago.
Yeah, so that I would have to say probably that would be mine.
What about you, D? What's your favorite?
I have two. I have the one where he went behind his back and then came up and kind of did a 360 in the dunk and just kind of stood there. I was like, whoa, like I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. That was spectacular. I think I actually saw that game. I don't know if it's a national game, but it seemed like I think I saw that live and he did. I'm like, holy shit, like, whoa, what's this? This kid's good. But the other one is kind of like this iconic moment, iconic shot of him when he went in the championship. Camera to the back, 24 baseball cap, and he just got his arms spread out like that. And that's an iconic shot. You know what I'm saying? That's just an iconic shot that everybody's ever going to see when it comes to Kobe Bryant. I'm sure there's probably murals across the world, but definitely in Los Angeles of that moment where his arms are just stretched out with the basketball after he won a championship with the 24. Those two moments really stick out to me.
I got one more, and I don't see how it skipped my mind. You know what? And I was thinking about, I don't know who was watching the Warriors win that 73rd game. Because I was watching Kobe in his last game go for 60. That one. And the first half, he was terrible. Yeah. Right. And for him to get 60 with no lift, and for the family to be there, and
everybody was there.
And everyone was there. It's kind of like that fake picture of Magic when he's like 5'9" and all the celebrities are behind him, Madonna, Eddie Murphy, and they're walking through the tunnel. That's how many people were there. But I'll say this part. I remember thinking the whole time he's going to say Mamba out at the end of his speech. I remember thinking that. I was like, he's going to say Mamba out, right? And for him to say Mamba out was like so Kobe, right? It was like so Kobe. And that's perfect. I would say that one may stand out more than the rest. To put the cap on it like that, on a career that was built off of scoring on your ass.
Yeah. And never forget, real quick, never forget that commercial we made with Jalen Rose about the 84 points. That's a classic commercial. Good. I'm just messing with you.
I'll quickly share it because I know Ken has to run.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Two commercials. One the ESPN one, but then also the Nike one. The one with Kanye. He's like, what the fuck is he saying?
Yes.
More.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was dope. I think that's my favorite one. I think that was my favorite one, and the one you mentioned earlier with the sitting there and doing and taking the hate. Like those two were probably, I would say, my favorite Kobe commercials, to say the least.
Yeah.
Ken, you were absolutely right. January 22nd, 2006, the AFC and NFC Championship game. Pittsburgh defeated the Broncos, and Carolina lost to Seattle.
Yeah, we weren't watching it. We were watching football, and Kobe was like, "I'm gonna make you watch this," because that was like the season Kobe scored. Kobe scored like what 49 games in a row, or something.
Yeah, it was something crazy.
He dropped 62 on Dallas in 3 quarters. He was going off. He was.
What year was it? What year was that again?
2006.
Oh wow.
He was in his bag. He was in his bag, major.
Definitely. All right, before we go, quick question. It deserves a longer answer, but because of time, if the Bulls are able to trade for Kobe when he was on the trading block and teams were exploring, and Kobe even talked about this in his interview with Shaq, that he was looking at schools and houses in Chicago, do the Bulls win another title?
No. So that was the year. That was what, early 2009, 10, somewhere around that time.
No, maybe like 07. It had to be like 07. Because remember, he started winning again.
He won like in 10. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Do they win a championship? In the East back then, I don't know if they would have won against a Western team, but I think he probably would have been able to drag them to at least a final.
He was going to beat Miami and what the Celtics had at that point. I don't think so. I mean, the Bulls. I mean, because you got to remember, you traded Luol Deng away to bring
to get him, and that's what he said. He wanted to play with Lou. That's right. That's right.
So I don't see what now. Kobe would have been a big enough attraction where other players would have come to play with him in Chicago. Yes. I will say that, but not knowing who the players wanted, because even saying that, how many players left their teams to go play with Kobe in LA? Because remember, people thought initially that was going to happen. That it's LA, it's Kobe, they'll come and play with him. And those younger players kind of like, nah, son, I don't want to do that. So I would say one who's also running the Bulls. We know they can't build contenders. So no, I don't think when LeBron was entering his prime and then going to Miami, and you still had the big three in Boston, that he was going to be able to beat those players with another player that's not a top 5 player, to say the least.
He would have had to really kind of flex his muscle to try to get some guys to come. Like you said, Ken, you got my LeBron and you got Boston, so he would have had to pull something out. And he said he wanted to play with Luol Deng. Listen, I know he told Shaq that, and I know he told a lot of people that wasn't gonna happen. That trade was
it's
called
Luol Deng.
Yeah, it's called leverage.
Right.
It's called leverage over the Lakers.
Yes.
And he got what he got because Mark Gasol came.
Paul Gasol, he got the trade for Paul. Sorry, they almost got Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.
Yeah.
And David Stern.
Yeah, the league screwed him on that. Yeah.
So it worked out for them. It worked out for Mama at the end, but that's called leverage, young girls, boys and girls.
Why just got to be young girls? Why
I would say young kids, but boys and girls, it's called leverage. Use it when you get older.
There you go. All right. Well, let me let you guys go. Ken Davis, Demonsporo. It's always a pleasure to join you guys. I'm so glad you guys are doing well. Please let me know if I could ever earn another space on your show.
Anytime, bro.
Yeah, just hit up Ken. Just hit me up anytime, man.
There you go. All right, that's gonna be our time tonight on our brief show. I had an interview lined up, but I can't get it to play, so we're just gonna post it straight to YouTube. All right, have a great night. Thank you, Ken.
Later, man. Have a good one. Tell Radioactive I said what's up.
I most certainly will.
No doubt.
All right, that's our show tonight. Don't forget to follow us on the social medias at Weekend Gabe and on on all the social medias at Weekend Gabe. So give us a follow. Friday night, we will have another guest. We're looking at some people that we're trying to lock down, but we had a interview that we recorded last night. We couldn't get it played tonight on tonight's show. So it's going to go straight to YouTube and straight to the podcast. So look for it on later on tonight or maybe tomorrow. What Shred Magazine is this online platform, super interesting, fascinating, a way for people who are creative designers, culture, I don't want to say influencers, but participants who have different skill sets are able to collaborate in a very unique and organic space to educate and share ideas. And it's a really great idea, Shred Magazine. So we're going to put that up on our YouTube later on today so that you guys can check it out because we can't air it tonight. So it's a fantastic conversation. I highly encourage you to check it out. All right, that's going to be our time. We'll be back Friday night right here on Weekend at Gabe's. Enjoy your Tuesday.